Welcome to the Dawn Guard, where, oh boy, I really liked this a lot. Besides, I got one guide. It's so hard. I left it off as I had entered the soul cairn, the prison of all the souls that live in the soul gems, and vampire mommies in there, and we've got to go and hunt her down with our lovely associate Serana is what she's called, and we were down in this mystical weird world, and it was better than Blackreach. Like Blackreach, that big open area with just nothing going on. This had things going on, but goddamn does it all look the same. Holy cow. Like, so quickly, I would have given anything to put down beacons or some sort of like waypoint. And don't tell me there's a mod for that. I know there's a mod for that. I know I could do something like that, but I didn't do something like that. I didn't have access to something like that, so I didn't have that. But it was one of those places, like, if I could just do something, because it gave me a bunch of little mini quests, right? There was like this ghostly soul vendor who was like, if you bring me the soul husks, I will trade you these things. And then there was a horse's head that I had to find. And then there was a big castle. And I was like, ooh, there's all kinds of things happening here. And it's weird. And it's got little puzzles. I mean, very minor stuff like shoot the glowing balls to open doors and things. It was nice to see in the chat people like, you know, I never figured that out. To shoot these things that open the doors. And it was surprisingly full, unlike Blackreach. Once I actually started to explore, which we'll get to in a second, it was really dense, like super dense with things to find that you absolutely do not need to involve yourself with whatsoever if you're just doing the story. But if you mess around in there, it's really dense. So I was like, oh, okay, there's loads and loads of things here. But at the same time, I was also wanting to like kill everybody. I mean, in IRL, I was very angry because of how it played out. I went on this journey through the soul cairn, interacting with these things. I found the ghostly horse, and then it turned out I've never invested a single point into Magicka, and I literally do not have the mana to summon the ghost horse, which is supposed to allow you to traverse this place in a much more efficient manner than I had. And I couldn't do that, and I was very upset. But I did find it, and I collected soul husks. And along my way, I picked up, by just exploring a little bit, just a titchy little bit, a remnant of the Reaper, which was just a gem. I didn't think anything of it whatsoever. And then I went on and I did the story. The story was all right. Mommy's been trapped in there. She's tried to strike a bargain with the lords of the soul cairn. It didn't quite work out, so now she's sealed behind a barrier, and she wants you to get her out. Go and kill 3 of the lords of the area, and you will free her from this prison, which we did. Wasn't too difficult. And then we got a boss fight at the end with a dragon that appeared, which was decent. It had some interesting mechanics going on. I'm always happy in Skyrim when the bosses aren't just like, oh, I'm a hitbox. Hit my hitbox. Oh, I'm either dead or not. Or you have to spam healing potions or whatever. But this was cool. It had some ad waves, and then it like moved away, and you could bring it down. And I think I broke it though. I did Dragon Rend on it out of curiosity, and it kind of like just froze on the floor and died. I think there was supposed to be a couple more phases to this fight, but it just kind of went, and it just fell over. I was like, oh, that's cool. And we got what we needed. And we needed to go and find Ariel's bow. Ariel's bow is a big deal. Ariel's bow is what can be the source of the cure for the hate, the terror of the sun. However, it really started to become apparent here that there's a number of ways of playing this story out, which is great. You can either like side with Daddy, you can kill Daddy, and you're trying to... And it's cool that Serana, regardless of what the player's choices, will go along with that. She's not pushing back. She's not going to be like, oh, we should not do this, or we should definitely kill Daddy, or something like that. She's like, yes, I agree, we should do this. So it really was in the player's hands of how you wanted the story to play out. Mommy won't come with us. And then a really cool moment where you kind of freed the dragon from corruption, and the dragon wants to talk to you. The dragon's like, you have bested me in combat, and I've been trapped here for a long time, and all I want to do is kind of soar the skies of Skyrim once more. So it teaches you his Thum, where you can summon him. I haven't done that yet. I want to do that soon. But he taught us this, and out we came. Because we now have the Elder Scroll. But our friend, our thrall, who has read the first Elder Scroll for us, which pointed us in this direction, didn't prepare properly, didn't do his stretches before the workout, and is now completely blind. And he's like, I'm really sorry, but I'm like totally blind now, and I can't help you. You need to go here and do this preparation with the moths, because of the moth priests, and then you'll be able to read the Elder Scroll yourself and get some information as to where Ariel's bow is. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. A little bit of a fetchy quest going on. This was nice, though, because the Dawn Guard actually showed up. I had forgotten the Dawn Guard exist by this point. I was like, oh yeah, the Dawn Guard. They're the ones who are trying to put a stop to all this. And they they just died, but it was cool to be reminded of why we were here in the first place was the Dawn Guard. So off we went to did that. Read the Elder Scroll, which was a cutscene I think they could have done better because you pull some very specific information. You get this like sort of weird map sort of cutscene that you're seeing in the Elder Scroll. But the guy's like, oh yeah, it's in Dark Flame Cleft. Yeah, I totally know exactly where Ariel's bow is. And it was like, did we get that information? It wasn't conveyed to me properly through the cutscene, but sure, whatever, Todd. It's all good, man. Todd just letting it work. Lots and lots of bugs here. I don't know if Bex can pull out a couple of them, but so much jank happened during this. We might not be able to get the clip because it was Easter Monday and my team was off work. So I'm not sure if they clocked these things. I'll see if we can find them, but they were just ridiculous jank that was happening along the way. And we then proceeded to do what was one of the more interesting dungeons, which is a really high praise of Skyrim because the dungeons are phenomenal already. And this was a step up, which was to get these 5... we had to get some water from 5 basins located around a rather large map, which kept changing areas and styles and themes in the style of a Final Fantasy XIV dungeon, actually, with warps and ways of traversing this area very quickly. Spent a good couple of hours here. There was a double dragon fight, which was really fun. It was about time they upped the ante with the dragons, and having 2 of them pop out of the ice was like, oh, that's cool. Dragon Rend completely screwed them up, though. Dragon Rend feels very powerful because it just floors them, and they're like, okay, just cleave us to death. Obviously, difficulty could be upped, but they would just be health bars. It's whatever. So that was really fun. And then got to the ending where there's a plot twist. In that the guy who has been freezing, there's a really lovely castle full of frozen people. And the guy at the end, who's the last boss of this area, was like, you don't understand, I'm a vampire. And you're like, you're a vampire? You're supposed to be like looking... and he created the myth of Ariel's bow in order to help himself. And he needed the blood of the children of something, or the daughter of something. Either way, it's what Serana is. They're pure blood vampires. And that's what he's been waiting for. He created the myth so a pureblood vampire would one day come for the bow. And I was like, that's cool, man. That's really cool storytelling. He also had a nice boss fight with ad waves and things like that, which was cool. So I really enjoyed this. Once we bodied him, we got Ariel's bow, and then we got all this information. It's like, well, there's Ariel's bow, which is really good, but it also uses these like sun-blessed arrows. But you can also corrupt the bow with vampire blood, and that will change it to something else. I tried to do that, but I'd already turned all my arrows into the sun-blessed arrows. I've given the bow to Serana, who's going to be staying with us. I think Serana and Lydia are going to be my little tag team there, not because they're just girls, but they're the more interesting characters. Serana and Lydia. I haven't got Lydia back yet. But I like Serana. She's got, obviously it's Laura Bailey's voice acting. She's got lots of dialogue to throw in. Really nice. Just a good, fun character. Changed her armor now, so she looks more badass. And went on our merry way to go and finally have the showdown with Daddy. This was fun, killing Daddy. This was fun. Daddy, it was a very Legend of Zelda-esque. Obviously, where the inspiration came from, because essentially Ariel's bow is light arrows, and he'll be a Ganondorf-type character. And he kept, like, spawning copies of himself, along with a bunch of ads, and then returning to regenerate, but the light arrows could break the regeneration, so you could get him back down, and then sometimes you would kill one, but it wasn't actually him, and he'd respawn somewhere else. And my immense damage, because I have so much stacked two-handed damage now, that if I crit something, I just body it into the floor. Kept regenerating and coming back, and it was nice. Some weapon swapping going on in a tight enclosed environment. Really liked all of these elements that were happening here as we brought Daddy down, and that was kind of the end. Again, Bethesda seems to just fall down with, like, the finish line. Like, everything leading up to that, including killing Daddy, is really good, and then you're like, And then there should be some sort of like payoff to this that really shows you've hit an ending mark of this storyline. Like you become Lord of the Vampires, or you are recognized in some way, or something should change following the destruction of this immense vampiric house. Perhaps Serana now becomes the leader of the vampires. Instead, she goes, well, I guess I'll just hang out here, or I can come with you. Okay. I mean, your father just died. You just killed your father. Should we go and get your mother back because she's refused to come with us? Should we do some sort of resolution to really tie a bow around this whole package? And it's similar to the companions, is they just miss that element. For some reason, they just almost land it and just slide off at the end where you're just like, and now what? Like, what is the resolution to everything we've done here? And there isn't one. Serana's like, I guess I can just follow you around, which is great, but you would think there'd be some sort of tie-up with the mother, some sort of tie-up with the castle, with the hierarchy of the vampires, something like that happening, and there's just nothing. And I don't understand why they keep just skipping over it. Like do we like take out the rest of the Dawn Guard, right? Something like that. Do we crush the Dawn Guard fortress? Do we try and make amends with them? Something like that. Now we are in this position of freedom from being under Daddy's rule that should happen. And I wonder if it's a fault of there being so many potential paths to get to where you're going. It's like, well, that ending does exist, but you need to do this, this, and this. I mean, it should exist for all of them, in my opinion. There should be some sort of resolution there. But there isn't. But I did decide to take Serana with me. And that's all we did for that day, because it was, I had to do a shorter stream because we were going out. But I had got to the point where I was bringing it up, like I'd done a few TDPs ago. I was like, where are we going now? There's lots of things I want to check out. There's lots of things I want to see. And I was talking to a friend of mine, Zeppler, one of the FF14 streamers, and she said, I've seen you playing Skyrim. Tell me you've done the Dark Brotherhood. And I was like, I don't know what that is. And she's like, dude. Dude. So my next stop, I think, is the Dark Brotherhood. I think that's where I need to go. I mean, if I'm getting recommended it, it's not the first time that phrase has come up. Obviously, I think of the Brotherhood as Steel. I doubt that's similar to what it is. But whatever the Dark Brotherhood is sounds like it's up my street. Sounds evil, sounds nasty. And there's still a lot of Daedric stuff I want to do. I want to find out about Boat High. Molag Bal comes up a hell of a lot, and I know there's counters to him and all sorts of other stuff. So lots more to do. I just wish with these big storylines with Bethesda's own stuff, because it actually does have resolution with the player-made stuff. That's what's really interesting to me. The player-made stuff does have resolution. The Bethesda stuff just doesn't. And it's really odd, but we'll see. Maybe the Dark Brotherhood will be the difference. So check in and find out later. Bye, guys.